Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or go stout. We need to talk about what happened on Friday. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe to join the thread, but let's get right into it. We saw the stock market lose $2 trillion in market cap and crypto see $19 billion liquidated within just minutes. Why did this happen? Well, it's because of one Truth Social post. Trump tweeted Friday morning that we will be applying a 100% tariff on China because of their plan to restrict rare earth minerals and the mining of these minerals very heavily. This one social media post sent the stock market and the crypto market into free fall, marking the biggest day of losses since April of this year, where he also crashed the markets with tariffs. On top of all the uncertainty, there was loads of insider trading accusations. One investor who opened their account that Friday, hours before the markets crashed, bought millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin shorts up to 1 minute before the market crashed. That sounds crazy, so let me explain it so we don't miss what they did. The market crashed at 10:50 a.m. Eastern, and that investor was buying shorts up until 10:49 a.m. and got very rich off of it. Did he have a shiny magic glass ball that told the future, or did he get great financial advice from Jeffrey Epstein's closest friend? It's also kind of funny. All weekend on Twitter, people have been trending Barron Trump, accusing him of being the one that made these trades. I wouldn't put it past him, but I have no proof that's actually him. But this is blatant market manipulation. Before you go buy the dip, you need to understand why it even dipped this much. While the social media post is what caused the crash, those rare earth minerals are vital to our economy. They are at the heart of all the advancements we're trying to make right now, from magnets to car batteries, computer chips. And unluckily for America and the rest of the world, China owns about 93% of this market and actually create the machinery to even mine those minerals. Recently, they came out and said that they would restrict who can mine in China or even buy the equipment to mine in their own countries. Also adding in that they will provide special permits for countries around the world to use, but they cannot mine these minerals for military use, which is bad news for every country, not just America. It's actually an insane move on China's end, and they've never felt the need to use this card in the trade war because it would disrupt the world. So what makes now the best time for them to implement these changes and not back in April when the trade war first started up? Well, there were reports about Xi Jinping having a stroke. There were some unverified reports coming out from China that he did suffer a stroke and was in the hospital under critical condition. Again, these are unverified reports, so I can't say that they were true or not. This is just what people are saying. But if you look at the actions, it lines up pretty well to a leader who just had a stroke. He's had 3 in the past before, so this is no new experience for him. And if you remember the conversation he had with Putin at the Access Summit not too long ago about using organ transfers to live forever, this kind of doesn't seem too far off. I know, things are getting weird fast, but why would a stroke cause them to be so aggressive out of nowhere? Well, imagine a scenario where this is true, there is a stroke going on, and there's a problem in the Chinese leadership. Being aggressive gives the next leader a better platform to stand on to galvanize the support in China. But those are just conspiracies, and we want to go off facts here. So with China implementing these restrictions on rare earth minerals and controlling the supply for the most part, which honestly, I can't blame them. We're supposed to be going to war in 2027, or that's what the reports are saying. So with that in mind, not saying it's justified, but I can see why they would want to give themselves an upper edge in the war. I feel like this is a very huge misstep on America's part because we should have put something in the negotiations way back that told them that they couldn't restrict this. But a lot of negligence and a lot of not taking care of problems at the time led to America being in a weaker position today. But with that being said, is Trump's response warranted? Honestly, in my opinion, it is. The choice to ramp up the trade war again in the face of these new restrictions makes sense because this not only hurts America, it hurts the global economy at scale. But tweeting it at 10 a.m. instead of addressing the American people the correct way with a press conference is mind-boggling to me. When you do loud, disruptive things like Donald Trump did on Friday and back in April, you then put China in a position to look more tough than us. Even Thursday, when China passed these set of restrictions, on Friday morning, no one cared about that. All they cared about was the insane tweet that Donald Trump put out and how it just destroyed the markets that day. I feel like if you would have done a press conference or just talked about it on camera, the effects would have still been bad, but not anywhere as bad as they were from just a tweet with no explanation followed. But we can't go in the past. We can only address what happened to people and how to react moving forward. Because on Friday, real investors were burned. They saw money drained out of their investments, buying power weakened in real time. All the while, whales made more money buying shorts and selling selling off at the highs. Not to mention Coinbase and Robinhood freezing up and having server issues when the crash happened, stopping regular retail investors from being able to leave their positions and lessen the blow. Instead, millions of retail investors had to wait it out to the bottom. And this is the second time that happened that week. We talked about the Oracle crash that happened not too long ago in the week, and the same thing happened. Robinhood was not letting people get their positions out. The app was having major server issues and crashing, and people just had to take the loss. But guys, I know I come off as bearish on the market and our current economy, but can you blame me? I see more and more financial videos with COD gameplay, and nobody ever addresses how unstable and manipulated this market is. Everybody talks about their investments or why the money is here, but no one actually accepts the fact that the market that we're in makes no sense. They'll say they have high confidence in it and it makes sense, and to look at the macro and every other, thing that sounds right. But when you have a market where somebody's tweet can erase a month's worth of gains, then it's just really arrogant when you say you can predict what's going to come next, or that it's just a regular market and that it's all baked into the price. On this channel, I'm not really worried about telling you what to invest in. I just try to make the landscape more clear so you can actually see what's going on. I try to hammer in the fact that our job reports are fake, the inflation reports are behind, and the worry amongst everyday people and the corporations is on the rise. But more and more investors just ignore reality and only see the all-time highs. Somehow, all-time highs justify a weak job market and no sense of safety for anybody else except the top 10%. This action that Donald Trump did will reignite trade war tensions and just put us back into a position like April, where the pain doesn't just stop on the Friday that we passed. The market, in my opinion, has not really found a bottom. On Sunday when I'm recording this, Bitcoin recovered in price because Trump said, hey, it's, my bad, it's not that big of a deal. China doesn't want their country to be in depression, and neither do I. But right after he posted this, China came out and said that they will not be taking any phone calls from the US and that the trade war is officially back on. If you remember the start of the trade war back in April, it wasn't just one bad day. The markets kept tumbling until they found a bottom, and that was only after Trump and Xi Jinping decided to get on the phone and stop all the tariff nonsense. That might not happen this time this go around. While Octobers are usually not great for the stock market, I'm not sure what about them, but there's always just major losses in October. But this loss seems completely avoidable. There was supposed to be a meeting in the near future between Trump and Xi Jinping, but after all this, that is completely up in the air, and China has actually refused to meet with them. We can hope this won't hurt the Christmas rally, but there's a real possibility it might. These minerals are the foundation of our tech economy at the current moment. With that being said, do I think you should take all your money out the market right now? Not really. I think there are good investments to be made. There is money to be made. But if you are operating on a buy the dip mentality every time the stock market dips, then I think you're playing way too gambly in this situation. You are not just trying to get rich, you are also trying to maintain the wealth and not lose everything you've built up based on one person's manic decision that day. I said it before and I'll say it again. If you are not hedging some percentage of your bets, you are playing a crazy game right now. If this tweet fiasco did not show you how fragile this market is, then I don't know what will. I'm not saying buy all the gold possible, but just take a step back and be honest about what's going on. I know it's easy to see all the green on the stock market and just assume that everything else is fine, but be honest to yourself. Are the people around you having a better time? Is the economy reflecting the stock market's gains? And does the future look better than where we're currently at? If any of the answers to those questions are not certain in your brain, then protect yourself. You don't have to be a day trader. You can be a principled investor that has a long-term goal. I always think back to 2008. There was investors that survived and there was investors that lost everything that day. Which side do you want to be on? But those are just my thoughts for the day, guys. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below in the comments. Was Friday just a hiccup, or is it going to be a repeated scenario as we end the year off? Once again, like and subscribe to join the thread. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is Ghost Thread, signing off.